On a quiet street in Tokyo, a family of 4 was brutally murdered in their own home. The killer didn't just kill them and leave. He used their bathroom, ate their ice cream, went through their belongings, then vanished, leaving behind DNA, fingerprints, and a chaotic crime scene. More than 2 decades later, with one of the largest investigations in Japanese history, the Setagaya family murders remain officially unsolved. In this video, we're going to look at what happened inside that house, what the killer did after the murders, what the forensic evidence actually shows, and why, even with modern forensics, nobody has ever been arrested. The crime took place in Setagaya Ward, in the Kamisoshigaya area of Tokyo, Japan. The family was the Miyazawas, 44-year-old father Mikio, his wife Yasuko, and their 2 children, 8-year-old Nina and 6-year-old Rei. Their home was part of a small block of houses next to a park. By 2000, that park area was being redeveloped, and some neighboring houses had already been demolished or vacated. That meant fewer nearby residents and less foot traffic at night. Relatives, including Yasuko's mother and sister, lived in an attached or adjacent unit. But on the park side, things were getting emptier as the project moved forward. By all accounts, the Miyazawas were a normal middle-class family. Mikio worked for an advertising company and was known as a quiet, dedicated father. Yasuko taught at a cram school. The children were active in school and after-school activities. There was no obvious link to organized crime, no major scandals, no widely known enemies. On paper, they looked like an ordinary family in a safe neighborhood. The murders are believed to have happened late on December 30th, 2000, or in the early hours of December 31st. On the evening of the 30th, the family followed what seemed like a normal routine. Friends and relatives didn't notice anything unusual. Sometime that night, the killer is thought to have entered from the park side of the house. Investigators believe he climbed up and came in through a small second-floor bathroom window. There were signs this window was the entry point, possibly because it was easier to reach and might have been left slightly open. From there, detectives tried to reconstruct what happened. Rei, the youngest child, was likely killed first in his bedroom, probably while he slept. He is believed to have died from strangulation, not from stabbing. Mikio seems to have confronted the intruder, leading to a violent struggle near the staircase. He suffered multiple stab wounds and injuries that match a serious fight. Yasuko and Nina were found upstairs in a bedroom. Both had been stabbed many times. Some reports suggest the attacker may have gone back and stabbed them again, which hints at rage or uncertainty. The next day, a relative who lived next door became worried. She couldn't reach the family, which was unusual, so she went to check on them. When she entered the house, she found a horrific and chaotic scene. Soon after, police arrived and began to understand that this was not a quick break-in. It looked like the killer had stayed inside the house for a long time after the murders, moving from room to room, leaving evidence everywhere. According to police reports and later reconstructions, the intruder made himself at home in disturbing ways. He ate food from the family's kitchen and fridge, including several ice creams. He also consumed things like melon and barley tea taken from the house. He used the bathroom and left feces in the toilet without flushing, which later gave investigators biological samples for DNA testing. Logs show that someone used the family computer around 1:18 a.m., after the likely time of death. That means the killer was calmly using their PC while 4 bodies were in the house. The intruder also rummaged through drawers and cabinets, scattering papers and belongings across different rooms. It wasn't always clear what he was looking for, if anything at all. He used the family's first aid supplies to treat his own injuries. Blood believed to be from the killer was found in multiple places, suggesting he cut himself, probably while fighting Mikio. One of the strangest parts of this case is how much the killer left behind. At the scene, police found a fleece jacket, a hat, a scarf, a shirt, a hip bag or waist pouch, and gloves that did not belong to the family. These items, along with the killer's blood, gave investigators a lot to work with. But even with all of that, they still haven't identified who he was. It's rare for an unknown killer to leave so much physical evidence and still remain a mystery this long. Forensic evidence in this case is unusually rich for an unsolved crime. First, there are the footprints. The prints left in the house matched a type of Slazenger sports shoe in a size around 27 centimeters. Investigators traced this model and size to manufacturing in South Korea. That particular size was apparently not sold in Japan, which led police to believe the shoes were brought in from South Korea. Next, the DNA samples from blood and from the unflushed toilet allowed investigators to build a profile. They determined the killer was a male with blood type A. Public reports say his genetic markers are consistent with East Asian ancestry, but they don't perfectly match typical Japanese population patterns. That led to speculation that he might have had mixed heritage or a non-Japanese East Asian background. Despite this, no confirmed match has ever been found in Japanese criminal databases or, as far as public information shows, through international checks. The police also dug into the clothing and bag left at the scene. They contacted the manufacturers and distributors of the fleece jacket, the hip bag, and other items. Some pieces were tied to specific production runs and sales regions, helping narrow where they might have been bought. The killer brought his own sashimi-style knife, which broke during the attack. After that, he switched to a kitchen knife from the Miyazawa home. With no arrest, the motive is still unknown. One early theory is that this began as a burglary gone wrong. In that version, the intruder came to steal, thinking the house might be empty, and panicked when he ran into the family. The violent struggle with Mikio and the injuries to the killer could fit this idea. Supporters of this theory think the intruder may have been a local or someone who knew the park and the layout of the houses, using the bathroom window as an easy entry point. But there are real problems with the burglary theory. Most burglars who panic try to escape as quickly as they can. They don't usually stay for hours, eat the family's food, use the bathroom, treat their own wounds, and surf on the victim's computer. That kind of lingering, almost casual behavior feels very different. It suggests someone who either didn't think they would be caught or someone whose thinking was not rational at all. Another theory is that this was a targeted attack driven by a personal grudge. There were reports of minor neighborhood tensions, including noise from skateboarders in the nearby park and speculation about disputes related to the park's redevelopment. Some people wonder if the attacker had a specific hatred toward the Miyazawa family or toward Mikio. In that case, the rage seen in the multiple stab wounds and the willingness to stay in the house afterward could make more sense. However, police have never publicly confirmed any strong suspect with a clear personal motive, and no no one close to the family has been charged. A third theory focuses on the idea of an outsider or traveler. Because of the Slazenger shoes linked to South Korea and the non-typical genetic markers, some believe the killer may have been a foreigner, a mixed heritage person, or someone who had spent significant time abroad. If he was in Japan only temporarily, or if he left the country soon after, that could explain why his DNA has never matched anyone in local databases. There are also more speculative ideas, like a thrill killer, someone with serious mental illness, or someone tied to unknown criminal networks. But these remain guesses without solid public evidence. The investigation into the Miyazawa murders is often described as one of the largest in modern Japanese history. Police have reportedly spent hundreds of thousands of officer hours on the case. They carried out thousands of interviews, visited homes door to door, and followed up on tips both inside Japan and overseas. They worked with clothing and bag manufacturers, traced possible purchase locations, and cooperated with foreign authorities about the DNA in the shoe brand. As forensic technology improved, they revisited evidence, hoping new methods would reveal something old tests missed. So why is the case still unsolved? There are a few possibilities people talk about. The killer may never have had a criminal record, so his DNA wouldn't be in any database. He may have left Japan shortly after the murders or even died before any match could be made. It's also possible that key leads were missed early on. Even in big investigations, small mistakes or assumptions can close off the best path without anyone realizing it at the time. For many people in Japan, this case is more than just an old crime story. The image of a normal family wiped out in their home, next to a quiet park, is deeply unsettling. For years, the house itself remained standing, almost frozen in time while the neighborhood around it changed. Photos and documentaries show a once ordinary home overshadowed by what happened inside, with personal items still in place. The Setagaya family murders are one of those cases that, on paper, look like they should be solvable. There is DNA, fingerprints, there is clothing, a unique shoe brand, and a clear basic timeline. Yet more than 20 years later, nobody has been brought to justice. What do you think? Was this a burglary gone wrong, a personal vendetta, or the work of an outsider who slipped into Japan and then disappeared? Share your theory in the comments. If you want more lesser-known international cases like this, especially from outside the United States, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching, and stay safe.